What up, YouTube? This is Daniel Rucker with True Table. Welcome to the table. Today, I'm going to be talking about something that all guys like to talk about. Are you ready? Are you curious? Let me talk about these females. And why am I talking about these females? I'm talking about them because, guys like to talk about things that they're not always quite that good at. Like sports, or even like how to date these women properly. So, I believe that it was necessary for me, Daniel, to go ahead, jump on this channel, and give you guys just a few things to start to try to work on to tighten up your game or the lack thereof, so you can have a better outcome if you decide to get out here and try to rumble in the dating world, in the modern dating world, because it is definitely that. But while I got your attention, I'm about to jump in this kitchen. I'm about to do what I do. But before I do so, go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and subscribe. We're going to get started. Because on this channel, if you haven't already found out, you're going to find out. I jump in the kitchen. I get to cooking. That's what I do. So strap in. Without further ado, gentlemen, one of the main things that I realized that a lot of guys are not good at is they are not good at telling females no. And why can I determine this? I can determine it because I've watched how you guys move about the world. I've watched young men know good and well that they're not comfortable with what a girl is suggesting or what she wants to do or what she thinks is okay. And instead of just telling her, no, don't think that's a good idea, sweetie, or absolutely not, they'd rather suffer through to gain what they assume to be the position and approval of this young lady, rather than stand their ground and make her move to the beat of your drum. And that is where I want to camp out right here today. Because, gentlemen, if you plan on ever being good with women, successful in this dating arena, successful in relationships, the one thing that you have to master, if you have to master understanding that it is your job as a man to manage, measure, instruct, and teach. And that's just a few of your jobs. And when you're interacting with women, a lot of times guys think it's about them. No, gentlemen. No. It is not about them. It is not about their feelings. It's not about what they want. And I know that you're probably sitting here like, dude, you can't be serious, D. Like, how are you going to sit here on your channel and tell us that it's not about how they feel? Because it's not about how they feel. If we were to bank the world on how women felt, nothing would get done. If we were to go ahead and try to plan our day around how women feel, nothing would get done. And a lot of things that I see that guys are experiencing when it comes to this particular dating world and the interactions is that they don't have a system in place, or scratch that, let alone a standard in place, that when it comes down to how she's going to interact with you and how you're going to interact with her, they don't have enough balls to sit there and be like, check it. If I don't like what you're doing or how you're coming at me, I'm willing to shut it down. So I'm going to give you an example. A long time ago, when I was really heavy out here in this dating world and establishing myself, I came into this realization very early that it was my job to create the type of environment that I wanted. And if I was going to be interacting with a young lady, the moment that I didn't like what she was doing or saying or presenting, I would shut it down. What does that look like? There has been times that I have ended dates early. There has been times that girls have showed up at my house later than they told me they were going to be there. And I would tell them to turn around and go home. Or on the dates, I would cut a date. I would shut it down. I would ask for the check, or I discontinue the evening. And, as I've told these stories to different guys along the years to different guys, they can't believe it. They somehow, some way think that I'm out here putting dubs on my real life interactions, which I gained nothing by lying to you. But what I discovered in those sharings of these stories is not so much the lack of a believability, but the fact that what I was talking about is something that they have not experienced. And therein is why I wanted to discuss it today. it's interesting to me how compliant most men or males, or whichever you classify yourself, are current day. And that right there is a problem. See, the one beautiful thing about being a man is that we are a self-sufficient, whole-body individual who is non-reliant on another person or another species per se to get us to continue to establish, develop, and do great things. We're self-sufficient. That's the beauty about being a man. And with that, when you're interacting with women, gentlemen, the one thing that it is seems to be a soft spot for most guys is, see, they seem to think that the more you say yes, the more she says yes. The more you do, the more she'll do. The more you're agreeable, the more she's agreeable. I'm here to tell you that is actually not how it works. Women by nature, gentlemen, are wired to push, to manipulate, to control, to try to find a place of leverage and value in your life. And it almost doesn't matter what it is, whether it's your attention, whether it's your time, whether it's your resources, or a combination of all three of those. See, the problem on why a lot of guys do not know how to handle most young ladies or even have great interactions with women is that they have not sat back and figured out, what is my standard? What is it that I'm not going to allow to actually happen in my world? And I think that that's right there is very valuable. That's why I'm going to park for the rest of this broadcast. See, gentlemen, if we're going to be the best man you can be, the best version of yourself, it requires this part, this principle, this practice right here. You have to know what you stand for. You have to know what you are willing to do, what you're not willing to do, what you're, open to, what you're not open to. Now, I'm not saying that you should be a rigid man. That's not what I'm saying. I think that you should have a general understanding of what it is that you stand for, your brand, whoever it is that you are. So in this case, I'm Daniel Rucker. Daniel Rucker is a man who does not drink, who does not smoke, who does not participate in foolishness, non-dramatic lifestyle, hard working, ambitious, so on and so forth. There's things that I identify with, and my brand is consistent. When you look at your brand, gentlemen, it has to consist of certain elements that are character-based, that are standards. Because, see, when you are a man, you are your own corporation. I believe I've talked about this on one of my broadcasts before. And check it out in my archives. I have several videos up to this point that speak on this very principle. We start looking at yourself as a business. We start looking at yourself as an enterprise. You start to move different and identify different. So just like a business has hours of operation, just like a business has a product or a service or a combination of both, you gentlemen are an enterprise. You are a corporation. And see, if she's looking to be hired by your corporation, then there are certain qualifications that she needs to have. Now, a date is just an interview. That is the starting point of what could potentially be a great career for her if she qualifies. But see, the problem is that too many guys are coming to the table, coming to the situation, coming into these exchanges with these women and putting them in a position to where they're the negotiators or that they're the ones that have the overall leverage. That's actually not the case. Like I said at the beginning of this broadcast, you have to get comfortable with saying no. You have to get comfortable with saying no and meaning no. Not just saying no, but meaning it. To the standpoint that you don't always even have to explain it. You as a man know what's good for you. You as a man know what's good for sometimes even her. And in most cases, a woman's job is going to be to try to figure out how much she can get you off your game. How much she can take what you say you stand for or don't stand for and get you to convert to what it is that she ultimately wants. And that's some level of dominance, some level of position, some level of, authority in your life. Gentlemen, if you are not experiencing the best that women have to offer, then you have to go back and look at your playbook. You have to go back and see how often have I not been able to stand up for what I say I am not gonna participate in. So I'll give you an example, story time, so you guys can understand. One of the principles that I have is I don't allow anybody to treat me worse than I treat me. And another is that I also do not interact with a situation that is going to cause for her to try to pull me into her emotional episode or her emotional world. See, that's where you lose. If a woman is bringing you something that is counterproductive, that is not on brand, that is not on code, that is not a benefit to your overall life, gentlemen, then there's no need for her to be there. There's no need for her to take up space in your life. See, we gotta stop as men putting so much of a premium on sex, on the act of, the exchange with a female that we pretty much all enjoy, and that is sex. Sex should not be so valuable or so powerful or so relevant in your life that you're willing to compromise your own standard and allow her to gain access or create drama or create nonsense in your life just for you to experience the few minutes of pleasure that you experience. A lot of guys need to get on a term with themselves to understand, like, look, this is what it's gonna be, and mean it. One of the things I do, and any girl that's been around me, even current day, and they've tried it, trust me, they've tried it, and I see it out in public sometimes, which is like kind of disturbing, is like they'll bring these purses, like excessive size purses sometimes, and we'll be out somewhere and they may try to have me hold their purse, and I tell them no, and it's like, oh, just real quick, and I'm like, no, like straight up, and I don't shrug off of it, nor do I compromise on it. Now, why is that? Some guys on this broadcast right now be like, that's not a big deal, man. If that's my girl, if I'm really digging her, I'll hold her purse. No, so you don't get it. A lot of times in these situations, the purse wasn't about me having a problem holding a purse. A purse is just a purse. The item is the item. It was more about you brought something that is preventing you from being as mobile or as fluid in your movement as possible. Did you factor me into the equation when you picked this purse? You shouldn't have. Shame on you. And there's been times that I've even dated women that when we first started dating, they used to carry around big, big purses. And after a couple months with me, we scale them down to a clutch. Because I told them very early, look, I'm not going to be the purse holder. That's not my job. That's not what I'm doing. If we go out and you know what we're doing, then you need to be a woman about your own planning and either pack less, bring less, or leave that joint in the car. Because if you're caught in a situation where you need me to hold the purse, I'm not going to do it. You're going to have to figure out how to get your purse either laid down or hung or whatever. It's not my problem. And see, I see a lot of guys that don't even have enough balls to even do that they'll allow their woman to lug this luggage out with all of her accessories, mind you, because she's not holding your crap, and then you have to hold it for her while you guys are transitioning around whatever space you're in. I don't understand that. It doesn't make sense. And men, it may sound a little extreme because I can feel a lot of some guys on here like, man, nah, you bugging. Like, you being a little bit too serious about something so small as holding a purse. No, gentlemen. If that's how you think, then I would say that you don't understand. You don't get it. With a woman, an inch is a mile. I'm gonna say that again for those of you who didn't catch it. For a woman, in her mind, an inch is a mile. Whatever you allow her to do, whether small, medium, or large, she will build her expectations around that. And it will not stop until you stop it. It will not grow until you decide not to grow or feed that expectation. So it's best, gentlemen, in my opinion, that you establish very early on what you're going to sign up for, what you're going to allow, what you're going to participate in, what you're not. If you don't, the experiences that you have will be less fruitful. The type of exchanges you have will be more on task for what you have to bring to the table, what you have to present as quality, and less for what she does. And I don't want to see that for you guys. I want to see men have better interactions, better experiences, and also learn what it is to create and establish his own ecosystem, his own environment that a woman when she does participate in is going to be enjoyable for not just you, but as well as her, but on your terms. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys today. I hope that it didn't lose you too much. I'll further expound upon it in the coming days, because I think that this is a relevant thing that most men are still not understanding. You have to have a response to a woman's nonsense, and you have to have a standard of what it is that you're gonna allow, what you're not gonna allow. That response is totally up to you, because every man is different. Every man is gonna have to figure out what he's gonna allow and not allow, what is gonna be permissible and non-permissible. And it's just as simple as that. So anyway, gentlemen, if you have not already done so, go ahead and hit that like button. For those who are not subscribed, I appreciate all of my subscribers. For those who have subscribed, welcome to the Truth Table family. You made a great decision. I'm going to continue to bring this content. And thank you for hanging out with me thus far. Till next time.